What is up, everyone? This is Home of Carthage, and I'm bringing you another online multiplayer battle for Rome Total War. So I'm playing as the Greek city-states today, and my opponent is playing as Egypt. So to get started, I'm going to show you our armies, and up in front here, I have 6 units of these Cretan archers. They are currently hidden, and then my main infantry line consists of 6 units of these Spartan hoplites, which look pretty cool when you use the updated version of them. And then on the flanks and support, I have 1 unit of armored hoplites on each flank for a total of 2. Behind them, I have Greek Cavalry. Not the best cavalry in the game, that's for sure. But they work in a pinch if you really want to bring cav. Some people will bring a lot of these guys if they're going to use Greece. And this is where I have my general. This is a general's armored bodyguard. Side note, I really think the Greek cultured nations, I think their generals look really cool. But anyways, back to what I was saying. A lot of players who want to bring cavalry and they're playing as Greece, they'll bring a number of generals' bodyguards, so they have some heavy cavalry. But I don't like that because I find it's not accurate. You know, because technically it's to protect the general. And you're not going to bring 5 generals to a battle. So if I'm going to bring cav, I'm going to bring Greek cav, even if they suck. Anyways. Moving on, my opponent, he has, let's see here, he has 6 units of these Pharaoh's Guard spread out along his line. They are his main body of infantry, and then mixed in, he has these 3 units of Nile Spearmen, which I kind of like the way they look. I mean, I actually kind of like the way all of Egypt's units look. They just have a really cool look to them. And then behind his infantry force, he has 4 units of Pharaoh's bowmen, which are actually pretty decent bowmen. Like, Cretan archers are probably some of the best archers in the game, but these Pharaoh's bowmen are the only archers in the game who have armor, which means they have a much higher defense than any other archer in the game. Well, I guess it's not true, because Roman archers also, or I'm trying to think here. Not Roman archers, but the basically like the best archers that Rome has. They also carry armor, so they have slightly better defense than other archers do. But these guys probably have the best defense of any archers because they are just clad in like heavy armor. So if you can get these guys exactly like where he has them, up on a hill, and they're firing down at the enemy, they're great archers to have because they're not going to suffer many casualties. Because 1, the enemy is firing uphill, as I'm going to have to, and they have a much higher defense than most archers do, so that's going to help a lot. And so they're just kind of all around decent archers, and they look cool, so that's always a plus. And then on each flank, my opponent has 1 unit of these camel archers, and he's going to combine them here right at the start of the game, but my Greek cavalry, is much faster than they are, and so they're not going to do much in this battle. But anyways, alright, let's get started with the battle. Okay, so I'm going to start moving my archers forward here. And like I said, he has started to move the unit of camel archers that was over here. He's starting to move them over to combine with that unit there. If I was him, I probably would have actually brought more cavalry, but that's just my opinion. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Though he did heavily upgrade his infantry units, which is probably why he doesn't have much cavalry. Which makes sense because considering he's facing the Greek city-states, and since since it's a pretty high chance that if someone's playing as a Greek city-states, there's going to be at least some Spartans. So it makes sense that he'd spend his money on upgrading his infantry to hopefully be able to beat the Spartans. So he's going to move his archers forward a little bit. The way he does it's a little weird. He has them kind of angled along the hill like this, but it works. And because he's up on the hill, he's going to have the range much better than I am. And so he's going to start dealing me some decent damage, whereas I'm going to have to fire uphill, not going to do as much damage to him. The reason why I would have at least brought all of my archers up in front of my infantry line, because then if they're getting shot, at least it's not also hitting infantry. Whereas now, any shots I aim at his archers are also landing amongst his infantry and possibly doing damage there too. So, but I mean, he really doesn't have much to worry about. He's doing pretty decent damage to my archers. I'm gonna move them up a little closer to be able to hit him better as I'm having to fire uphill. So he's starting to suffer some casualties, but he might lose 1 or 2 in a volley, where I'll lose, you know, upwards of 10 per volley. So he definitely has the advantage here in the archer fight, even though I outnumber him in the amount of archers. I'm going to start moving my cavalry onto each flank. I've split it into 2. I have 3 units of Greek Cavalry here. And on this flank, I have 2 units of Greek Cav and my General's Bodyguard. As you can see, they're all running, but my Greek Cav easily outruns my General's Bodyguard, and that is going to come in handy a little later in the battle when it comes to catching his camel archers. So the moment we're basically just trading shots with our archers, and I'm now starting to move my infantry up. So kind of a weird thing that he does is he splits his infantry. He splits the some units off of each of his flanks to protect against my cavalry as I'm coming around, which honestly that wasn't a very good decision, at least how he does it. But like, what I would have done is just lengthen my line kind of at an angle on here to help protect. Whereas what he is he's completely splitting off troops, which then are isolating them, and because my Greek cavalry is fast, I can easily outmaneuver them and not have to worry about running into his pikes at all. And in the meantime, because these units are isolated, my own infantry can come and just destroy them piecemeal, and he has less infantry to try to hold the main line, which helps them just get destroyed even more. So I mean, it's not that good a decision, but anyway, so I have completely destroyed these camel archers over here with my Greek Cav. As you can see, they're just being taken out. This unit's already been destroyed. And that's where Greek Cav does come in handy. Fast, they can easily outmaneuver other cavalry, so they're great for quick lightning fast strikes. They're great for running units to make sure they don't come back. They're great for just like catching slower cav that are weaker than them. So they're really good at the kind of the hit and run tactics, but not in a stand-up fight. So if you're ever going to use them, just kind of keep that in mind. Great against archers too, if you can get them in and get them out quick. So he's going to move his infantry down the hill now, which it is a good decision if he could actually get my guys to fight on the hill, whereas I'm still kind of on the slightly more flat area. It's a little bit of a hill, and any sort of hill advantage you can get is fine, is good, even when you're fighting downhill with infantry. It's just as if you've seen an earlier battle. Oh, and over here. This unit kind of got surrounded by those two, and that was his general unit. But anyways, if you've seen an earlier video of mine where I do Egypt versus Macedon, the Macedonian player had much more infantry than I ever did. But because I was fighting on a major downhill, I was able to just completely destroy him. But anyways, he is matching up Nile Spearmen and Pharaoh's Guards with Spartans, and in a kind of a random pattern, so they're not going to do very well. And so here I see that he has this one unit, he's not paying attention to it, it's one of the weaker infantry units, so I'm going to make the decision to charge into them with a couple of my cavalry units. Because from behind, I'm able to rout them quite quickly. I did suffer some casualties from his archers, but it wasn't bad. And I still have 3 more units of Greek cavalry up here, waiting to strike. So after that, I'm going to swoop with these units of cav up towards his archers and bring these guys down. and catch him in between and just destroy his archers. So I've pretty much taken care of most of his infantry at this point. He just, even up against my armored hoplites, upgraded Spartans, upgraded armored hoplites, are very hard opponents to beat. So it just, and if he had brought more of his infantry to bear on me, it might have worked out a little better. Because he had his infantry spread out, it just didn't go well for him. Where mine were all packed together and were able to flank him really easily. So he did have some units come back from routing, but by this point the battle is basically mine. So he's gonna run these down the hill, straight into my pikes, but he just doesn't have that much infantry left to combat what I have. So it's pretty much a done deal at this point. But he put up a good fight, and it was a good battle. It was enjoyable. Alright, so here I am bringing down my cavalry, and that's going to break them. There they go, they're all broken. He has one random unit of infantry he probably forgot about that I don't even know what happened there. I probably just walked right by him without even noticing him, but he's going to eventually see them there. He's going to start walking them towards my own infantry, but at this point, I mean, that's his last remaining infantry unit, and I have all this infantry still in all my cav, so he doesn't really have a chance at this point. He does still have this archer unit that's firing, but I'm going to send my cavalry after them and they're going to break and run. And he's moving. See, now I have the hill advantage and much more infantry too. So they're going to break it just as soon as they reach my infantry. And that's the battle. So it was a good battle to my opponent. I enjoyed it, and it was fun to be able to use Greek Cavalry in a way that works and not just have them destroyed. So that was good. It was fun, and just, I don't know, the way I was able to maneuver them and stuff. It was a fun battle. But anyway, so I deployed 1,417 men at 1,067 kills and had 949 men remaining. And then my opponent, he deployed 1,159 men, had 536 kills, and 91 men remaining. So, I mean, he did a decent job, but most of those kills, honestly, that he got on me were my archers. I don't know, I don't think I showed you, but you've got any sort of glimpse at my infantry. Most units didn't lose more than 2 or 3, maybe 4. So, but anyways, good game to him, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe.